Good morning, children. Welcome back to the class. So far, what we have finished? Nutrition, the plants, no? So, half of the lesson we have finished. Remaining, we are going to continue now. Before that, I want to give you instruction. Please read the chapter as you have finished. As soon as you have finished, you have to read the chapter. And many of the children are not sending the homeworks, ma'am. I think all the children are listening the classes, but only some children are giving response. It may be art and craft session, or it may be a homework session, or it may be any fun activity, but only some children are giving response. What about remaining children? It's waste of time, no, sitting at home. You are in 7th class, not in LKG or UKG. Okay, you are not a primary section children. So come forward, learn, then read the classes, go through the classes, follow the classes, and then send the homeworks. Right? I think we are in page number 100. So I am going to continue the chapter. Do you know preservation of plant parts like leaves, flowers, or whole plant is a traditional designery art. So do you know that they'll preserve the leaves of all types of plants? It's a traditional art. అంటే పాతకాలం నుంచి అలా వస్తుంది. If the plants are not available in a particular place, then the plant physiologists collect those plants where they are available and make them in the preservative form. This is commonly known as herbarium. So the way they protect the leaves are called as herbarium. This is commonly known as herbarium. They study those plants, and these preserved plants are also helpful for the future studies. Why is that they are preserving these leaves? Because they'll help for the further studies about the plant. Now we are able to know about a plant. How? Because the people, those who lived earlier, they have preserved the leaf and they started collecting information about that plant. Now they are sending us the information. If we also preserve the plants and we collect the information, and we are also able to tell for the next generation about these plants. Okay. Can you tell by looking at the figure where starch is present and where it is not? No. By looking at the figure, can we say the starch is present or not? No. Did the entire leaf get light after it covered with black paper? If this was not case, which parts of the leaf did not get light? Did starch form only in those parts that were exposed to light? On the basis of this experiment, what connection do you notice between the light and the starch formation? They are telling about this experiment. Yes, where there is light, then the starch will be present. That we have concluded by this experiment. Now, do plants produce only starch? In the chapter Our Food, you read the starch, fats, and proteins are present in the food. They are also present in plants. Where do these substances come from? Plants produce sugar first, which is converted to starch, and then other compound as well. But plants need other nutrient elements too. So they are saying that plants produce sugar. First of all, in the photosynthesis, they will produce the sugar. Then later on, the starch is produced. The sugar is converted into the starch. Not only that, other nutrient elements are also there in the plant. The main nutrients needed for are nitrogen, potassium, and phosphorus in large quantity. Not only the sugar and the carbon dioxide, the main nutrients are nitrogen, potassium, and phosphorus. The plant need all these three things in a large quantity. Plants require many other nutrient elements as well, but these are needed only in minute quantities. So not only nitrogen, phosphorus, but they need other nutrient also, but in a minute quantity. Takkuga. Hence they are called micronutrients. Plants absorb these nutrient elements from the soil through their roots. The experiment this accept will be learned in the higher classes. Yes, already we have known that all the elements, all the nutrients, everything the plant will absorb from the roots. And about this we are going to learn in the higher classes. Next, plants that grow on other plants. Do you know that some plants will grow on other plants? తెలుసా మీకు కొన్ని plants వేరే plants పైన ఉంటాయని? Example, did you see any time? Yes, you can see if you go to an old building or the leftover place, పాడుబెట్ట బంగ్లాలు కానీ ఏదైనా ప్లేస్ మనం వదిలేసారి కట్టకుండా అక్కడ ప్లేసెస్లో చూడొచ్చు మీరు. వాల్స్ పైన వేరే ట్రీస్ ఉంటాయి, అండ్ స్మాల్ ఫంగస్ ట్రీస్ అలాంటివి మళ్ళీ ఆ ప్లాంట్స్ పైన పెరుగుతుంటాయి. మేబీ లైక్ క్రీపర్స్ ఆల్సో, climbers also will be growing on that type of plants. Let us see now what are those. Have you seen yellow thread-like structures spinning around the stem? branches and leaves of some trees. Figure number 9 shows such a plant. So you can see here Cuscuta, this plant, what it is doing, it is twinning around the stem of other plant. That means it is taking support of other plant and it is depending on that plant. This thread-like plant is Cuscuta. It neither have leaves nor chlorophyll. This plant is not having leaves, neither it is, if leaves are not, it does not have chlorophyll also. How do they survive? From where do they get nutrition? అవి ఎలా బ్రతుకుతున్నాయి మరి వాటి న్యూట్రిషన్ ఎలా? Cuscuta takes food from the plant on which it is climbing. అది ఏ చెట్టు పైన అయితే పాకుతుందో ఆ చెట్టు యొక్క ఫుడ్ని తీసుకుంటుంది. Like humans and animals such as plants depends on the food produced by other plants. So like a human and animals, మనం how we are depending on the plants for food, human beings and animals, and both we are depending upon plants and animals, and human beings also depending on the dead animals and other animals and the plants. In such a way, this Cuscuta plant is also dependent on other plant. This mode of nutrition is called heterotrophic nutrition. That means they are depending on other plants for the food. This type of nutrition is called heterotrophic nutrition. Parasitic plants like Cuscuta develop special roots called Haustoria, which penetrate into the tissues of the host plant and absorb food materials from them. So this plant is not having the special roots. They are having the special roots called Haustoria. These types of plants are having special roots called Haustoria. And what they do, they'll deep, that means they'll go into the host plant. ఏ ప్లాంట్ పైన అయితే అవి పాకుతున్నాయో ఆ ప్లాంట్ టిష్యూస్ లోపలికి రూట్స్ వెళ్ళిపోతాయి. Then they are taking the whatever the nutrition that it want, it is taking from that plant only. Need to understand the food material that is present in the host plant. This plant roots are getting they are penetrating into this host plant and they are taking the food from the plant. ఏ చెట్టు పైన అయితే డిపెండ్ అయ్యి ఆ చెట్టు లోపలికి రూట్స్ డీప్గా వెళ్ళిపోయి the food that is necessary for this plant they are taking from that plant. Now plants that grow on dead and decaying matter. Often after rains we find umbrella like structures growing on dead and decaying matter. Such plants are called saprophytes. So here you can see the example, this one. These are called as saprophytes. What happens after the heavy rain falls? The next season you can see the most of the like umbrellas on the ground. They grow on the dead and decaying matter. That means if something is died, suppose some tree we have cut it and that means that particular tree is dead. So the plant, these type of plants will grow on that plant only. Dead, already dead and decaying matter. The waste place, the waste materials. From there these umbrella type plants will be growing. So these are called as saprophytes. You might have seen black and white spots appearing on bread pieces, pickles when kept in moist places. Okay, did you see if the bread is kept for 1 week, what happens? White color powder in the powder form or like a hair-like structures will grow on the bread. In the same way, in the pickles also, these spots develop due to the growth of fungi, which is a type of a plant. So this is called as a fungi and this is also known as a plant. Okay, clear? It's a type of plant but it is known as a fungi. All these types of plants do not contain chlorophyll. So they simply absorb organic material usually from decaying matter. So they especially they don't have any chlorophyll. They always depend upon these type of plant. Now example, suppose some vegetables we have bought and we kept it in the fridge and we went to the village unexpectedly. Sometimes it happens, no? Your mother will buy the vegetables, she'll keep in the fridge. Then unexpectedly we'll get a phone call and we'll go for 1 week. Then when we return back after 1 week, what can we see in the fridge? Some vegetables will be good, but some vegetables, all the white color fungus will be formed on the vegetables. That means what happened? The vegetable, a new type of plant is growing from that vegetable and it is called as fungi. Several times it has happened in everyday house, it will be happening. Suppose you ask your parents, okay, you have to ask, then you have to know what is that. Understand? Try to find out the different types of saprophytes that you may find growing around you. If they are too small, try to observe them with a hand lens. So that you are able to see with a naked eye that type of saprophyte, you just find out. Okay. Draw the pictures of the saprophytes and write the places where you find them. Next, special mode of obtaining nutrition in insectivorous plants. Now we are going to see about the insectivorous plants. A few plants manufacture their own food, but also obtain a part of the nutrition from insects. So few plants, what they manufacture their own food, but some of the nutrition they will depend from the insects. Leaves of these plants are specially modified to trap insects. So what these leaves do, they are designed in such a way that they will trap the insect. So the leaves are, now suppose we are having hands, what happens if we see some insect, we will just immediately will pick up it, right? In the same way that these some plants are having specially designed leaves that they will trap the insect and then pick it. These plants grow in areas deficient in nitrogen. Where there is no nitrogen, the area that is having less nitrogen, that type of places these plants will be growing. Hence, they meet the nitrogen requirements from insects. So, they are not having nitrogen in that area. They will take nitrogen from these insects. For the nitrogen purpose, they are trapping the insects. Being green in color, they can manufacture their own food. So, these plants are green in color, so they can manufacture their own food. Why? Because they contain chlorophyll. Droseras, Utricularia, Venus flytrapes are examples of some such insectivorous plants. These are also called as carnivorous plants. These are also called as carnivorous plants. So, and insectivorous plants. Why carnivorous? Because they are eating the insects? No. That's why they are carnivorous. And they will depend on the insects for the food. And they will prepare the food also. Some plants like those of the dal family have a type of bacteria growing in the root nodules. The bacteria fixes nitrogen for the plant while it gets shelter in the roots of those plants. Such an association is beneficial to both groups of symbiosis. So some plants like dal family, the plant that belong to dal family, what happened? They are a type of a bacteria. In the root nodules itself, they are having the type of bacteria. And what happens? This bacteria will fixes the nitrogen for the plant and they will get the shelter from the root itself. Next, they have given root nodules. This is the example for this type of plants and this is called as symbiosis. Now one more they have given. There are colonies of algae and fungi living together in symbiotic relationship. These colonies are known as lichens. What are these called as? Lichens. This relationship starts with the attack of algae colony by a type of fungi. It is an example of balanced parasitism done. Later algae survive. They are given protection from the intense light and condition of drying up. Due to the presence of fungus colony, the fungus gets food from its partner. Let us green our environment so that we will never worry about oxygen and food. So this is nothing but lichens. This is also a type of fungus. But here algae and fungus. Furthermore, we will be learning in the higher classes about this. So here both the algae and the fungi both are living together in a relationship. Then they will balance the parasitism. That means they will, the food they will get, no, that they will be balancing. And they are giving the protection from the light and conditions. So this is all for today. My lesson has also finished. Homework is second question. I think you have written only first question from this lesson, right? Second question. What happens if leaves of a green plant are coated with oil? What happens if a green plant is coated with a oil? Next, do you know things saprophyte help us in keeping the environment clean? Now let us raise our hands towards the environment and we have to protect the environment by planting. They have given we have to protect the greenery in order to get oxygen. ఎందుకంటే మనకు ఆక్సిజన్ రావాలంటే మనకు గ్రీన్ ప్లాంట్స్ ఇంపార్టెంట్. అండ్ లాస్ట్ ఇయర్ on the 15th August what sir has given you? Our principles are a plant. Why? To make our surrounding green. So don't forget, keep this as a promise, and as a student you are listening the lesson and you have to protect the environment by planting the green plants. So your homework is second question, third question and fourth question. 3 questions you have to write one time from the workbook. Thank you children.